Hate to say I told you so, but
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve.
Do you know the SpongeBob meme? I know that's a little out of your reach, but the SpongeBob meme of Mr. Krabs, like day 24 losing his mind. Yeah, we're 5 now. We're day 5. Thanks so much for clicking on the show here today. Coming up on the show, we need to talk about Harrison Bader a little bit. Of course, he is going to be a free agent at the end of the season. Do the Yankees bring him back? Let's talk about him numbers-wise and if that's the right move. That's later on in the show. Also, Michael King pitched pretty well last night and has been pitching pretty well this season. The Yankees are considering using him as a starter now. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But first, Stacey, you told him so. You definitely did. This is what you said on Monday's episode.
But, you come out of the series losing that one game, it's so much better. But this feels like that Rockies game, which was also a Sunday, coming out of a series where you want to try and win 2 out of 3, and then you lose 2 out of 3, and it's just deflating. And then what happened when they went to Anaheim? They got swept. So what's going to happen when they go to Atlanta and face the best team in baseball? I forgot I said that.
I mean, nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is that. So, of course, the game you were alluding to was the Sunday meltdown in Miami. That felt heartbreaking. Could have won 2 of 3, would have won the Friday game, would have won the Sunday game, and would have had a little bit of momentum heading into Atlanta. Of course, end up losing the Wednesday game 2-0, shut out back-to-back games, 5-0 on Tuesday, 11-3 blowout on Monday. So you were right. I wish you weren't.
Yeah, I'm never right about the things I want to be right about. Ever. It's always the bad stuff. Why is that? But yeah, I mean, it just felt the same. It really did. It was so similar because that Rockies loss was the same kind of thing where they had no business losing that game, and they did. And it was the same thing in Miami, and it was just such a bummer. And so, as I said in that clip, deflating that, yeah, and Atlanta's so good. And, no matter who they faced in the rotation. We talked about it before the series began. A lot of those guys had trouble their last either 1 or 2 times through the rotation. Bryce Elder had problems in his last 2 starts. Morton didn't have a great start his last start. And as I said, I feel like the Yankees are the cure to every major league pitcher's ills. If they come into a start having either 1 or 2 bad starts, hey, I'm facing the Yankees. I could pitch like a Cy Young candidate. And, pitch 6 or 7 shutout innings and strike out double digits. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, but it's becoming believable.
Right.
Randy Vasquez did get the start. I had called for him to start, not get an opener, so I appreciate that they did that. 3 1/3, 2 hits, 2 runs earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Ended up throwing 60 pitches. They pulled him a little bit early. Did end up giving that 2-run shot to Eddie Rosario, which ended up being the only offense of the game. Was a sinker that was away, but middle. Kind of belt high. Pitched pretty well, I would say. All things considered. I would have liked for him to go a little longer. I understand why they didn't let him go another batter there when they pulled him in the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a difference of opinions, a difference in direction, which we have talked about on the show. I have said it, 4 times this week? Lean in. It's time. It's over. Lean in. Let Randy Vasquez get out of that jam. That's an important teaching moment. He has to get out of that jam against that team if you think he's going to be a part of your rotation next season. And I get why they're not. I get that they're trying to win now. And look, it worked for today's game. It worked. King came in, got out of that first and second, one out. Pitched really well today, 3 2/3, a hit, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Keenan Middleton had a nice 8th inning as well. Again, I think it's just a difference of opinions here, Stace. What do you think about pulling him there in the 4th?
I can see why they did it, but I kind of agree with you because it's just so funny that we're all sitting here just thinking it's done. The season is pretty much like this is what it's going to be for the rest of the season. They're not making the playoffs. So you might as well just have these guys try and perform. And I don't know. But I mean, it worked out, obviously, with King. And he did a tremendous job coming in and pitching 3 2/3, only giving up the 1 hit. And but I agree with you. Just let these guys ride. Let them go. Like I don't.
I mean, the Yankees at this point would have to go like 30-11.
There's no way they're doing that. No matter what Aaron Boone says, he said something after the game tonight about that. Like teams can go on unlikely runs. We just have to compete. Sir, you guys have not been competing since June. You're not going to flip a switch. You can't flip a switch and suddenly start winning when you haven't been doing anything for more than 2 months at this point.
Yeah. Under 500 now at 60 and 61. Again, they essentially have to go 30-11 the rest of the way, like to have a shot at that 3rd wild card spot, which is also the crazy part. The 3rd wild card spot.
Right. It's not even like division. It's the 3rd wild card spot.
Yeah.
Crazy.
To get a 3-game series on the road.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want that, right?
Yeah.
Like Yankee fans out there,
man.
Yeah, leave that below. Would you want them to fight and do really well just to have a 3-game wild card series on the road against someone like the Astros? No, you wouldn't.
Yeah. It's tough, man. Tough offense again last night. Picked up 4 scattered hits. It was really that 4th inning that kind of set the tone. First and second, 1 out. IKF strikes out. So does McKinney. And that was pretty much all she wrote right there. The opportunity they had, they squandered. And, it's almost like this is yesterday's episode, the day before that, the day before that, the day before that. It's Groundhog
5 in a
Day,
row.
man.
5 in a row.
Day 19, day 19. That's where we're at this point. But I mean, hey, again, I think at some point here, they're going to officially wave the flag because you just can't. I mean, 5 in a row here at a really bad time. If you really want to be pushing and you really think you're going to be pushing and trying to get in, this is not the time to be falling 5 in a row. It's just how it is. Just how it is. Stacey, we made some bold predictions before the series started, just like we usually do. Let's see how we did. Do you have bold predictions here for this 3-game series in Atlanta?
Sevy pitches 5 innings. He lasts 5 innings, and he only gives up 3 runs.
I'm not going to say anything to that. I'm just going to let you bask in that one for a second. I'm going to go offense. I like the way Volpe's been swinging it lately. I'm going to zero in on Wednesday. Anthony Volpe homers off of Charlie Morton. We're just as bad as the Yankees are right now.
We really are.
I don't know what happened to us. We were doing really good for a while, and then we've had stinkers. Maybe because everything we're saying is positive things. Maybe we haven't done bold predictions on the opposite end, or I guess maybe they're not bold at that point.
Right. Yeah. It wouldn't be bold. It would just be
at
correct.
This point. Bold is the Yankees will have 5 hits.
Yeah. Score a run. That's a bold prediction.
Yikes.
1 run in 18 innings. Ooh.
Yeah. Because even if you had come out and said the Yankees will get swept, I would have said no, veto. I would have vetoed that pretty hard.
That's not bold.
Hey, if you don't laugh, you cry.
Right. We have to laugh. I know people kind of get upset because we're, I don't want to be one of those people on a podcast that's screaming at the top of my lungs. I mean, inside my head I am, just so you know. But I just want to be calm and steady. And yes, I'm angry with how this team is playing, but I'm not going to be sitting here pulling my hair out on screen for everyone. You just got to laugh sometimes. Really.
Yeah, sometimes
I mean,
it's just like, you just got to go, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not doing the Michael K thing that was on. I know a lot of people were making a lot about that clip that came out
Oh,
yesterday. Yeah.
yeah.
So we're that's not this show. There's plenty of that out there. If you want to go watch that, and if that makes you happy, go for it. Who am I to tell you no? But it's not going to happen here. We'll be mad. We try to be more real than trying to just get clicks or whatever. Try to be like, oh, what a meltdown just to get a click. It's that's not what we do around here. So, hey, if you're in that thing, have at it. Not what we do here. What we do here is Fan Mail Friday. That's coming up on tomorrow's show. That was a great segue. Put that in the top 10 list of the season. Fan Mail Friday. Drop your questions down below here on YouTube. Reply to that pinned comment. And, of course, you can join our subtext if you want to skip that line, as well as get text messages with us. You can vent to us because, boy, some of our subtexters certainly have recently. Hey, we feel you. It's all good. Again, there's a 14-day free trial in that episode description down below. And, of course, on the audio side as well. Coming up next, Michael King, starter. Maybe? Let's see. Guys, you don't have to choose between better hair growth and your health. I know your hair is important. Trust me, I take care of mine too. It's super important to me. If you're having issues and are looking for answers, Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men. That's MEN, and enter promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men, spelled NUTRAFOL.com/men. Enter that promo code LOCKEDONMLB. One more time. That's Nutrafol.com/men, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Do it. Back now on Locked On Yankees. Don't forget the Yankees play the Red Sox this week, and you can listen to it on Sirius XM. Download the Sirius XM app today. Coming up on tomorrow's show, to the everydayers out there, you guys know it's Fan Mail Friday. We've been doing it all year. You guys have been crushing it. Drop your questions down below here on the YouTube side. Of course, responding to that pinned comment. You can also join subtext to do that as well. There's a 14-day free trial. Stacey, Michael King last night, over 3 innings of work. He got out of that jam nicely. He's pitched pretty well this season as a whole. The Yankees have been mulling over having him as a starter. There's a lot of questions that come along with that, but just your overall impressions, the audacity to make Michael King a starter, are you buying?
No. I'm afraid of them making him a starter because he hasn't been one in so long, and I really don't want him to get hurt doing that.
That's fair. I don't think I mean, the injury stuff of it is understandable. I don't think you're too far off base with that.
Yeah.
Maybe I can convince you.
Okay.
Maybe I can convince you. I'm trying to pull up stats here. So he hasn't started essentially, like realistically, since 2018 in the minors. He did it at 3 levels in 2018 and crushed. I mean, crushed. The numbers are chef's kiss numbers. Like, they are beautiful numbers. Even in AAA, he had like 6 starts at AAA, like a 1.18 ERA. Like, he was ridiculous with the Rail Riders in 2018, and then he gets to the majors and he has just been relieving, right? Save an opener situation here. The caveat, or not the caveat, but the flip side to my argument to try and make him the starter here is he is currently at his highest workload in the majors, both in innings pitched and appearances. And it is, as we're recording this, August 16th.
Right.
So you still got a month and a half to go here. Aside from the injury bug, do you have any other reservations stuff-wise or anything like that? Because I feel pretty darn confident when Michael King gets on the mound.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel very confident when he's on the mound. He's a really good pitcher, and he has some wicked stuff. I'm just worried about this, as you just said, this being his highest workload so far. And just because of the injury that he had last year, it was such a strange injury that he got, the fracture in his arm, and really scary. And I don't want anything to happen to him this year that's going to jeopardize 2024, if that makes sense. It's really a health thing because I feel like he could probably do it,
Sure.
But I almost feel like they maybe should have tried doing that sooner with him. I mean, they couldn't have known all of this stuff was going to happen because it's not just Sevy not doing well. It's not just Nestor being hurt, Rodon being hurt again. It's also Herman's situation. There's just like a whole bunch of stuff that's happened that's made it so they've had to try to get other guys starting, opening. You have Hamilton. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of see it from your side. And I also see it from what we talked about in segment 1. Just let it ride at this point. Just throw things at the wall and see if they can stick. Because again, this team isn't going anywhere, no matter what the manager says. And, on that side, I can see it. But I'm really just worried about the injury thing because I'm a worrier. I'm a natural worrier, and that's just me.
August of 2018 with the Rail Riders, Stacey. Get a load of these numbers. 5 starts.
Okay.
He only ever gave up 4 runs. 4 walks, 27 strikeouts in 33 innings, a 0.64 whip. Opponents batting 149. This is all as a starter, and a 1.09 ERA.
Wow.
That sounds beautiful to me on this team. That's
True.
all I'm going to say about that. On
That's
this
true.
team. I mean, hey, on any team, I will take those numbers. I'll take those 5 starts any day of the week. If you're doing the math of it, it would be about 4 starts, 4 or 5 starts.
Yeah. And you're not expecting him to throw 7 innings. Like it's going to be more like a Clark Schmidt thing where he throws maybe 5, but like a quality 5 innings, hopefully. In that vein, I mean, you're not expecting him to come out and be like Garrett Cole and throw 7 innings. So I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously build him up. They built him up last night. That's very clear that they did that. So I think they're giving some decent credence to this. I don't think this is some fluke. The bigger questions to me are, does this mean Sevy out? Do you think it's wise in that sense to go try Michael King as opposed to let Sevy go? And not let Sevy go, let Sevy continue to be a starter. Like, do you just flop him?
Oof. Ooh, I don't. Do you feel like this is more them being in lieu of having to use Vasquez and Brito?
That's what I'm worried about because I'd rather have Vasquez Brito in there instead of King.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking future, right, is this a viable option after this season with Michael King?
Right.
Is that something you can answer this season? Is that, I mean, you wouldn't be able to answer because there's not that much time, but is that something you can get a general idea of here in the next 6 weeks? Do you have that? Are you going to try that in 2024, especially considering if the Yankees aren't totally feeling going after the bigger names, the Lucas Giolito's of the world, in free agency? Because remember, they're going to lose Sevy one way or another, and a reunion is probably the furthest thing next to the moon at this point. So I don't know. I mean, given what you know and given the state the Yankees are in, you're the card counter here. Are you letting King try and start at some point here in the next, say, week or 2?
Why not? At this point, really. Again, they're not going anywhere. You might as well try it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And as long as he doesn't get hurt and he can go back to pitching in the bullpen next year, then that's fine.
Yeah.
They don't really have any other options, though, right? So why not?
The only problem here is you do lose a high leverage arm in the pen.
Right. Well, okay, yes. They did get Loizaga back, which helps, and he's been doing okay. I mean, the bullpen is still good, right? Minus meltdowns that have happened recently, but you have Wanda, you have Canely, you have Holmes, you have Loizaga, you have Ian Hamilton.
You still got Nick Ramirez down there.
Right. There are a number of arms in there. And, losing King would be not
But I mean,
great,
now he's
but
giving you likely the same amount of innings,
right.
maybe maybe two less in a week.
Yeah.
But you figure it out. And those two innings go to Sevy. Right, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know how you're feeling. Do you think Michael King as a starter has legitimate legs at this point? I'm curious to see what Locked On Yankees viewers think. So let us know in the comment section down below here on YouTube. We're going to step aside one more time. But as we teased earlier, Harrison Bader, free agent at the end of the season. Is he going to come back? Do the Yankees have any interest, or should they?
Want the chance to win more money with fewer picks? Head to Sleeper, where you can win up to 100 times your money on just 2 or more fantasy baseball picks. Sleeper is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app focused on bringing people together through sports and gaming. Sleeper has become the fastest organically growing fantasy platform in the world with over 5 million active users. At Sleeper, it's not just about sports, it's about building personal connections and lasting memories. I'm Stacey 826, so you can connect with me over on Sleeper. And with Sleeper, predict the hottest baseball stats like home runs, hits, strikeouts, and much more to cash in on your daily fantasy baseball skills. Entries can be made in 30 seconds or less. It's that easy. Download Sleeper in your app store and use promo code LOCKEDON, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply, and you can see their terms of use for details. It's currently operational in over 30 states, so check out Sleeper today.
Back now on Locked On Yankees, our final segment here on this Thursday show. Thanks so much for sticking around. Stacey, we've talked about it on a couple of occasions, the free agent class this year, heading into next season, I should say. A little light. One of those free agents to be is Harrison Bader. Now, the Yankees don't necessarily have a center fielder for 2024 right now. Initial thoughts, Harrison Bader coming back. How do you feel about that?
I like Bader. I just wish he would stay healthy. I don't mind that he's not like a world beater at the plate, but he'll occasionally get a big hit. And when he gets on base, he's really fast and he scores easily and he's great defensively. I say it all the time. I love watching him play defense. It's just so much fun seeing a center fielder know exactly what to do in center field, and the way he sets his feet, 5 minutes before the ball gets to him, and he knows exactly what he's doing out there. And he's fun to watch. I just wish he were healthier.
Sure. I mean, I'm sure he would say the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a solid major league center fielder.
Yeah.
I don't think he's anything less. I don't think he's anything more, which is completely fine. I think he is solid.
Yeah.
And that's a good solid. I have very little qualms, like you mentioned, defensively about him. I never once worry about it at all. And a lot of teams can't, say that. So
right.
that's a plus. It's a plus. He's going to get a contract this year. I don't know if the Yankees will be able to compete with some other offers. We'll see what the market is like for him.
Right.
Just his performance this season when he has been on the field, Stace. Since the All-Star break, his slugging is definitely down. It is not jump off the page whatsoever. So that's probably the biggest knock on him since the All-Star break is the slugging. But he's been pretty consistent. He's been hitting better here in the month of August, which is saying a lot considering how the rest of the team is hitting in August. If you're looking for holes the Yankees have, which they've had for a while, is left-handed hitters, not helping out in that scenario because he's a righty. But he has been one of the better hitters this season with runners on and runners in scoring position, which, again, on this team, you can't have enough of. So here are some unrestricted free agents to be in 2024. I'm going to read off some of them for you, Stace. And, of course, this is not including guys like Cody Bellinger who have options. So there are mutual options, there are player options, there are club options. None of those guys are being stated here, just so you know. These are unrestricted free agents, straight up. Left-handed bats. I broke it up by lefties and righties. Make it nice and easy for everybody. Lefties. Jock Peterson, Kevin Kiermaier, Tony Kemp, Travis Jankowski, and Jesse Winker. This is not an exhaustive list. I just kind of handpicked and cherry-picked a little here. The right-handed market's a little bit better. A.J. Pollock, Teoscar Hernandez, Hunter Renfroe, Randall Grichuk, Kike Hernandez, and JD Martinez. Stacey, any of those guys jump off for you as, I mean, what you're really looking at potentially is a 2-year guy to be the new IKF stopgap pre-Jason Dominguez?
Ooh, boy. I mean, I would prefer, if they can't get Bader back, a left-handed batter, because the Yankees need left-handed batters in their lineup. But looking at some of these guys, I don't know enough about Winker, Jankowski, and Kemp. I've seen Kiermaier for years because he's been in the AL East basically the entire time. And I know that he's more of a defensive center fielder, a very good one, and a very dreamy one too, with those blue eyes. But
he's stolen many Gold Gloves from Mike Trout.
And many hearts with those eyes. No, I'm kidding. I'm just saying that because my Toronto friends always talk about his eyes, and it cracks me up every time I see it on Twitter. How old is Jock Peterson now? He feels like he's been around 30, forever.
31, 33, somewhere around there.
All right. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. They're kind of all in the same. Tony Kemp, I mean, you don't know a ton about him. I've watched him for years in the AL West. Tony Kemp's very quick. He's kind of a slappy hitter. He'll get into one every now and then.
Yeah.
So he's less power than a Harrison Bader, but I do like Tony Kemp. Travis Jankowski's having a real nice season. At least whenever I watch him with Texas. So, these are stopgap guys like that. And I don't think the Yankees would be looking for anything more than that.
Right. Yeah, I don't think so either, which is why I kind of feel like if someone doesn't give Bader a better offer, I feel like the Yankees could get him back. Plus, he's a hometown boy. He wants to play for the Yankees. I feel like it could be a good fit, But, God, I really wish they could just get more left-handed batters in the lineup somehow.
Yeah, it's a pretty if Bellinger goes to free agency, I imagine the Yankees would be pretty interested.
I mean, they have to do something. And then out of
that's a gamble, though. That would be a gamble for sure.
Oh, yeah. And then out of the other guys, couldn't see Kike coming here. Grichuk, they should have tried to get before the trade deadline. Teoscar Hernandez, I don't know if they'd let him. I don't know.
Yeah, again, it's a pretty weaker market. The way JD Martinez has been swinging it this year is kind of an anomaly. I don't know how much you can trust that moving forward. These are guys that we will definitely be talking about in the offseason, which is, weirdly enough, kind of approaching already here, about a month and a half away.
It's coming quicker for some of us than others.
That's true. You're not wrong. But make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our off-season content. I can't believe I'm already saying that. It's August, Steve. It's August. We still got plenty of baseball left. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Fan Mail Friday. That's tomorrow. Leave your questions down below. Reply to that pinned comment here on YouTube. Of course, you can join subtext as well. And that's going to do it for today's Locked On Yankees. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias, and we'll see you tomorrow.